Labdien visiem, kuri ir izrādījuši interesi un šodien pieslēgušies mūsu zaļās dienas ietvaros notiekošajam otrajam vebināram. Mans vārds ir Sandra Bērziņa, esmu Latvijas Pašvaldības savienības padomniece vides aizsardzības jautājumos un šodien vadīšu šo vebināru. Kā zināms, Eiropas Savienība ir izvirzījusi jaunus klimata mērķus 2030. gadam, un arī apņēmusies līdz 2050. gadam sasniegt klimata neutralitāti. Tieši tādēļ arī Mēru pakts ir uzsācis savu nākamo posmu kā pakts par godīgāku, klimatam nekaitīgu Eiropu. Un mūsu šīs dienas vebināra pirmā daļa būs veltīta jautājumiem par to, kāds būs jaunais Mēru pakts, vai un kad tam īstais brīdis pievienoties, kāds ir klimata un enerģētikas politikas jaunais ietvers, kā arī parunāsim par to, kas var notikt, ja nerīkosimies ar klimata pārmaiņu sakarā un ko tas varētu nozīmēt mums un mūsu nākamajām paaudzēm. Savukārt, vebināru otrajā daļā dalīsimies ar iedvesmojošiem pieredzes stāstiem. Taču pirms es dodu vārdu pirmajam runātājam, daži vārdi par šī vebināra organizatorisko pusi. Vebinārs tiek tulkots latviešu un angļu valodās. Lai izvēlētos valodu, kādu jūs gribat dzirdēt, lūdzu ekrāna apakšējā daļā atrodiet podziņu translation, kas izskatās tā kā zemes lodīte, un izvēlaties sev vēlamo valodu. Savukārt runātājiem lūdzu, tad, kad jūs runājat, pie šīs pašas pogas izslēdziet mute original audio, lai nebūtu atbalsts. Tāpat lūgums visiem, protams, izņemot runātājus, izslēgt mikrofons, lai mūsu fona trokšņi netraucē. Un par jautājumiem, ja tos vēlaties uzdot, lūdzu to dariet tērzētavā jebšu čatā, norādot, kam jautājums ir adresēts. Un, ja laiks atļaus, mēs atbildēsim vebināra laikā uzreiz pēc prezentācijām, taču, ja nē, tad mēs pēc šī vebināra atbildes izsūtīsim rakstiski uz e-pasta adresēm. Un tāpat uz jūsu e-pasta adresēm tiks izsūtītas arī prezentācijas, bet vebināra YouTube, tātad vebināra ieraksts, tiks ievietots mūsu YouTube kanālā. Bet, ja kādam ir prezentācijas pret vebināru ierakstu, tad lūdzams paliekat neredzami, neieslēdziet video vai savus foto. Un tā kā laika grafiks šodien ir ļoti saspringts, runātājiem liels lūgums ievērot sev atvēlētās minūtes. Bet tagad gan vārds atklāšanas uzrunas teikšanai Gunāram Ansiņam, Eiropas Mēru pakta nacionālajam vēstniekam no Latvijas, Liepājas pilsētas domes priekšsēdētāja vietniekam. Lūdzu!
Labdien, kungi! Priecājos uz sveikt jaunā Mēru pakta pasaulē lielākajai kustībai, kas šobrīd ir piedzīvota Eiropas Savienībā. Un es ticu un ceru, ka šī kustība veicina pašvaldību aktivitātes, klimata un energoefektivitātes vitālais jomā. Un tieši šis pasākums liecina to, ka šis ir ļoti būtiski mums visiem Eiropā. Jo īpaši kā Mēra pakta vēstnieks esmu gandarīts redzēt, ka klimata un vides tēma ir svarīga pašvaldība. Un šeit es uzsveru daudzām pašvaldībām, gan Eiropas Savienības dalību valstīs, gan arī austrumu partnerības valstīs. Un par to liecina arī mūsu konkrēti šodienas dalībnieku sastāvs. Tas ir pietiekoši kupls skaits, un no pārstāvētās valstis ir gan mūsu Baltijas valstis, gan austrumu partnerības valstis. Man ir prieks redzēt arī kolēģis no Beļģijas, Francijas, Itālijas un Spānijas. Tas rada pārliecību, un tas rada nopietnu pārliecību lieliskām izredzēm, pašvaldībām savā starpā sadarboties, veicināt aktivitātes, lai kopīgi mēs sasniegtu tieši mūsu ambiciozos mērķus un plānus klimata un vides jomā. Un viens no tiem maniem mērķiem pats svarīgākais ir energoefektivitātes pirms. Varbūt dīvaini, bet, manuprāt, kalpot efektivitāti mūsu sēkās, gan pašvaldību valsts, un arī privātajās sēkās, mēs varam sasniegt ļoti labas radītājs. Un man ir prieks, ka šo piedalās arī diskusijas kolēģis Mārtiņš Tīdens, kas vairāk izstāstīs to Liepājas pieredzi kopā. Tā kā vēlreiz es gribētu sveikt šajā pasākumā un novēlēt iedegt daudz zaļu Eiropas pašvaldībās un Eiropas pilsētās. Paldies jums!
Paldies Gunāram par iedvesmojošiem un uzmundrinošiem vārdiem, bet tagad vārds Katerinai Fortun no Eiropas komisijas klimata politikas ģenerāla direktorāta, lai pastāstītu mums par jauno Eiropas politisko ietvaru klimatu un enerģētikas jomā. Lūdzu!
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation and for the opportunity to be here today. Latvia brings really beautiful memories to me because I celebrated my 36th birthday there. And so the country and the people are very special to me. And also from Brussels, it's a unique opportunity to connect with people on the ground and to learn about how you implement the renovation wave, how you implement the climate action, your plans, and how you actually get fit for 55. Well, me, I grew up in the Czech Republic, and as a kid, I played in fresh water and beautiful rivers, and I never really thought that water, air will ever be scarcity or that I will ever worry. And today, our rivers in my country, they really shrink in size and they become very polluted. We are facing scarcity of water, and at the same time, we are experiencing huge floods. So we can go from droughts to floods very quickly in really few weeks' time. And I can imagine that each of you are aware of things that are happening around you in your region, in your country, because of the climate change. It does affect us all, and it's happening. And this is actually where the adaptation strategy comes in. It's a turning point. The adaptation strategy was published in February. And the adaptation goes hand in hand with mitigation. That's why we always talk about climate and energy, and Fit for 55 goes all together. So in the Commission work program for 2021, we plan the revisions and the revision of directives, of initiatives that are linked to the European Green Deal. In particular, the climate targets, to have new agreed climate targets of minus 55, so 55% of net reduction target, which is presented actually under this Fit for 55 package. So this is what's going to happen in 2021. 2021 is also a very important year and a milestone for the European Covenant of Mayors. We just launched a new covenant. We call it the Covenant 2.0 in April. And under this new covenant, cities have the opportunity to really step up their climate ambition and to reach a common vision. And it's an occasion to really do it all together. So we are all within one community and we can support each other, not only with advisory and also financially. So the Covenant of Mayors, the new commitments, the new signatories also commit to implement adaptation to climate change measures. And of course, as I said, it always goes hand in hand with energy. So the aim is also to alleviate the energy poverty, and always through a just transition. Because what's important in the new covenant is really we try to make it more fair and more just. So we are ambitious. We do want, we aim, we ask, we encourage cities to join and really commit to this 55 reduction. So we are on the right track to become climate neutral in 2050. And yet at the same time, we really want to have everyone on board. So we provide also a tailored approach, and we would like to get also cities that are not there yet to be on board and to be part of the covenant. And you cities, you are at the front line, and Right now, it's also the moment of COVID-19, so it is a very difficult moment in Europe. I see mayors, they are really there with people facing these devastating health and economics impacts. So mayors, you do respond with creative solutions, and it's also important recognizing the need and the actions that are there, not only to address the pandemic, but also make the cities greener and more resilient for future. So we are looking for win-win-win solutions, and it's really a win to pandemic, win to climate threats, and also win to inequality. Because in my opinion, I do believe that the climate changes and threats are going to widen the scissors. That's why it is important to work together as a community. And of course, for the green transition to really happen, it's not going to happen just with legislation, regulation, directives. And I'm happy to have the Green Deal as a vision and really concrete action plan. And yet it is clear that we need everyone on board. We really need to go through a societal transformation. And this is why in the Green Deal, we propose, like the Commission, together with everyone, together with citizens, to propose European Climate Pact. Because we really believe that if we want the green movement to be part of our life, to be a new lifestyle, to be the Paris lifestyle or the 1.5 degree lifestyle, we really need everyone on board. And cities are the best place to motivate local action. And this is also the reason why under the new covenant, we aim to increase the commitment of cities to engage with citizens, with businesses, local stakeholders, to help the society in this transition. And from the Commission, we are putting in place many actions and initiatives to support you. So it definitely includes one, creating local climate pacts, so which would be the baby of the European Climate Pact at the European level that we are now making and shaping. We launched the European Climate Pact in December 2020. And now these 6 months were really busy because the Climate Pact is for all. It's really a space that is open and a lively space to connect, to raise awareness of climate actions and to encourage the action. So through the European Climate Pact, we would like to support you to create your local climate pacts within your community. Now, that's why we are looking for synergies. And so the European Climate Pact works very much in synergy with the Covenant. So number one was the European Climate Pact, really the engagement with citizens and how we would like to share the processes and help you with advices and also through the European Climate Pact to really engage with citizens. The second important thing in terms of concrete steps and what is in making and shaping are the missions. The Commission is preparing 5 missions and one important mission for 2 important missions for cities. One, of course, is the mission for cities, which focuses on mitigation. And we also have mission on adaptation so we work together, Directorate General of Klima and Directorate General of Energy. And also these 2 missions that have really the aim to have in 2030 have demonstrators, cities, 100 cities and 100 communities and regions that are demonstrators, that are examples how we can be climate neutral, how we can have smart cities, we can be adapted to climate threats. And the objective is out of these demonstrators to scale it up, because this will be just a drop in Europe, but to scale it up and implement it on the ground in whole Europe, across the territory. And this brings me to the question, why to join the Climate Pact, the Climate Pact and the Covenant and all these initiatives at this moment. And to me, it is the right momentum, because right now there is lots of energy from all layers of the government, from the European Commission, from the national governments, from regional governments, from city governments. There's also a right momentum within the communities, because right now we are all going through change. And if we join forces, I believe that it is possible that we work together and we use these missions, the climate pact, and also a third very important support is a new policy support facility, which will be launched under the Covenant of Mayors. It will be launched also in 2021. And this targeted support is for smaller and medium-sized cities to get on board with the adaptation plans, and to really, the 2021 is kicking the energy and the plan, the vision to move from planning to action and implement action projects on the ground. So it is clear that we are going through an uncomfortable time. And I believe that if we move together in a smarter way, I mean collecting data and really collaborating, and smarter to me is also about research in a more systemic way, where we do collaborate across different sectors and layers of the government. And also if we move faster, then I do believe that we can adapt to climate changes. We can mitigate our energy dependence, and we can protect our resources, biodiversity. We can protect what we love. So I do encourage you to commit and to engage with the new proposal of the Covenant of Mayors and join the Covenant 2.0. Thank you very much for your attention.
Paldies, Katerina. Ne tikai tas, kā jūs minējāt, ka 2021. gads ir piesātināts ar enerģiju, bet man liekas, visi jūs šīs dienas prezentācija bija ļoti piesātināta ar enerģiju. Lielas paldies par to, bet vēl mazliet sīkāk par Mēru paktu mēs lūgsim pastāstīt Eiropas Mēru paktu padomnieku Pedro Bizarro. Lūdzu. Lūdzu, Pedro.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Yeah. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Pedro Bizarro. I'm an urban planner, and I'm working for the Covenant of Mayors office. My presentation today will focus on the new phase of the Covenant of Mayors for fairer and climate neutral Europe. It's not an easy task to make a presentation after Katarina, which was so inspiring presentation, but I'll do my best. We will maybe start with a short video to introduce you to the new Covenant of Mayors.
As part of the Covenant of Mayors, cities and towns are taking climate and energy action to ensure a better future for their citizens. In Europe, over 10,000 cities have already joined the movement. For years already, cities have been turning climate and environmental challenges into opportunities. Time has come to make it the overarching priority.
We mayors from all over Europe step up our climate ambitions.
We commit to delivering action at the pace that science dictates.
In a joint effort to keep a global temperature rise below 1.5 degrees.
Our clear political decision is that we will live in a decarbonized and resilient city till 2050.
With access to affordable, secure and sustainable energy.
As signatories of Mayors in Europe, we commit to taking everyone on this journey.
We will make sure that our policies will leave no one and no place behind.
The transition to a climate-neutral Europe will have impacts in all areas of our societies.
As local leaders, we must keep a watchful eye on those impacts.
We can only envisage a transition that is fair, inclusive,
and respectful of all citizens and of our planet's resources.
We mayors and local leaders can take steps today to ensure the well-being of all citizens in climate-neutral cities. We encourage our peers, wherever they are, to join the Covenant of Mayors movement. Together, we will work to turn this vision into reality.
So thank you very much. I'll now share my screen. Okay, I hope you can see it, right? So, as you've seen, the Covenant of Mayors is stepping up action for a fairer and climate-neutral Europe. Is stepping up ambition and is stepping up the targets, and this is what we would like to share with you today, and we hope that the presentation can be also informative. For those who might not be so familiar with the Covenant of Mayors started in 2008 with the specific aim of mitigation and with the specific target of reducing by 20% the greenhouse gas emissions by 2020. In 2014, the Covenant of Mayors integrated another initiative, the Mayors Adapt, and add these two dimensions of mitigation and adaptation. In 2015, at EU level, new targets were adopted for 2030. It was the moment for the Covenant of Mayors to include these targets as well. So for mitigation, cities could commit with 40% greenhouse gas emissions reduction by 2030. And at the same time, the Covenant of Mayors included the energy poverty pillar. As Katarina was saying and other speakers before, 2021 is a crucial moment for the Covenant of Mayors. The European Union has adopted new targets put forward by the Green Deal and in line with the Paris Agreement, and we want to be the first climate neutral continent by 2050. So the Covenant of Mayors is endorsing this target, adopting this target, and including this target in this new phase. The Covenant of Mayors has now more than 10,000 signatories, 10,000 local governments that commit voluntarily to achieve this climate neutrality. More than 200 supporters, which are national associations of local and regional governments, city networks, as well as regional and local energy agencies. More than 200 coordinators that can be either at regional level, provinces or regions, but also at national level, national energy agencies or national ministries. And it covers already more than 300 million inhabitants. The Covenant of Mayors is the world's largest movement of local climate and energy action. So we are now a global movement covering the entire planet. In brief, the Covenant of Mayors is based on three main steps, and everything starts with the commitment of the municipality to join the Covenant of Mayors and to achieve these targets. It has then 2 years to define an action plan that will be submitted and evaluated by the European Commission. Guidance is offered templates to develop the action plan, so you can find all the support to develop your action plan in line with the targets of the Covenant of Mayors. And then we ask to report on the progress every 2 years. We offer a lot of capacity building events, from webinars to national events dedicated to specific topics. It can be on adaptation, on mitigation, on energy poverty. We have also thematic coalitions to go specifically into some topics and to develop concrete materials to support the community. And we have also, for instance, peer learning or city twinning programs that you can use to learn from each other and inspire each other. We have all variety of materials available in the Covenant of Mayors website that you can find on innovative financing schemes, on energy poverty, on many topics. What we offer as well is an interactive funding guide that you can look for funding to develop your projects and see at European level which are the fundings available, funding schemes available to finance your project. So if we go to the core of the presentation in this new phase of the Covenant of Mayors, the first thing to say is why. So why are we raising this ambition? Katarina already said, other speakers already said. The first thing is to reflect the evolutions of EU policy. So with the new targets at EU level, the Covenant of Mayors as the initiative, the flagship initiative to support local and regional governments implementing EU policies, is also adapting and raising the ambitions to meet these new targets put forward by the Green Deal, in line with the Paris Agreement, and now coming into binding law in the climate law. At the same time, and as it has also been said, we are facing a very difficult moment with COVID. But we need to find on this moment also the opportunity to make the transition that we need, the transition that we want, to have a green recovery for Europe. We have a transformation that is just and that is climate friendly as well. Cities had to reinvent themselves. Everything changed from one moment to the other, mobility patterns to a variety of challenges. And it's now also the moment to use this opportunity to change, to make the change that we need. On the third aspect is to strengthen the position of the Covenant of Mayors as the movement of local authorities of all sizes that are leading for change. The Covenant of Mayors is an inclusive moment. Is an inclusive community. We want to support cities of all sizes, independently of their progress, whether they are already front runners or if you're starting your process. We are here to assist you and to help you in developing your action plan and achieving the targets. So how were these targets or these new ambitions adopted? They result also from a survey that was led last year, in which the results were very clear. 91% of the respondents said that we should raise our targets, but also that the Covenant of Mayors should be involved and be the center to involve all the local stakeholders and all the community towards this green transition. We have consulted numerous national and regional partners. This has been, of course, discussed by the members of the Covenant of Mayors political board, mainly local leaders and mayors that you could see in the video that have already committed to the 2050 targets. And these new targets under the Covenant of Mayors has been, or the new commitment has been endorsed also by the EU Commissioner for Energy, Kadri Simpson. So what's new in the Covenant of Mayors? First, this shared vision of climate neutrality for 2050, the latest. Of course, many cities in the Covenant of Mayors are committing to climate neutrality before 2050. So the target at European level is that at latest by 2050, we get climate neutral cities. In the process, we have the 2030 targets, and these 2030 targets, however, at the European level, together, we need to reach a 55% emission reduction. These targets will differ from country to country, and the Covenant of Mayors will follow this approach as well. We'll be flexible, and you'll be able to adapt your targets to your national reality and your national context. Also, another important topic is the climate emergency, acknowledging the climate emergency and making climate action a priority for our municipalities and cities. At the same time, ensuring that we leave no one behind. We know that this will have impacts, that transition will have impacts in many aspects of the society, and we need to ensure that we leave no one behind and that we ensure this just transition, and that we bring everyone on board, so that we create this local climate pacts with citizens, with private sector, with other local stakeholders, with the academia, to go together, to make this transition together. So the new commitment of the Covenant of Mayors for 2050 is based on 4 main topics. So the cities or the municipalities, the local governments commit to 4 main steps. The first, to be aligned with this mid-term target, so 2030, and aligned with the national targets, and then the 2050 targets consistent with EU objectives. Second, to engage everyone, to bring everyone together in the form of these local climate pacts, bringing everyone together, all the community together, inform, raise awareness about the climate emergency. Third, to act, to develop the Sustainable Energy and Climate Action Plan in line with the Covenant of Mayors targets to implement the change that is needed. And fourth, make use of the big network of the Covenant of Mayors to discuss with other peers and to be inspired with other peers and to convince and share the message to other mayors and bring them also to join this big initiative. Lastly, why should my municipality raise its ambitions? We leave some guidelines here. The first, we think, is to show to citizens the climate commitment and action that you're endorsing, that you will put forward, that you will commit to. Then to contribute to the transformation towards climate neutral cities or municipalities and offering the quality of life to the citizens. We know that we need to do this transition towards a more sustainable economy and a more sustainable society to provide the quality of life to the citizens in our municipalities. Then the Covenant of Mayors also offers you the space to shape the EU and national policy frameworks by participating in our fora and in the discussions, raising the voice of local governments in shaping these crucial policies. Then another dimension, to join forces in this world's largest movement of cities and also get a stronger voice in the international scene. So it's important as well to raise the voice in the international scene. The climate change is a topic that affects us all, and we need to address it all together. And then, of course, inspire and learn from your peers. As we mentioned before, the Covenant of Mayors offers you a lot of possibilities to do this and to discuss with other cities and learn from other cities. We will do it today, in fact. So I will finish with an invitation to all of you to know more about the Covenant of Mayors and to endorse, to commit to this to a fairer and climate neutral Europe, and to commit to the Covenant of Mayors, this new phase of the Covenant of Mayors, and this new commitment that we are sharing with you and encouraging you to sign. So thank you very much. I'm open for questions and feel free.
Liels paldies! Es ceru, ka Pedro stāstītājs dos impulsu tām pašvaldībām, kuras vēl nav pievienojušās Mēru paktam, to apsvērt un varbūt arī pievienoties. lai sniegtu savu artavu klimatu mērķu sasniegšanai. Bet varbūt nemaz to nevajag, varbūt nemaz nekas nenotiek, un varbūt mēs varam pagaidīt un paskatīties, kas notiek. Es domāju, ka uz šiem jautājumiem atbilde pilnīgi noteikti ir zinātņu doktorai Vaidai Šerevčienei, Viļņas Gediminas Tehniskās universitātes vides aizsardzības fakultātes docentei no Lietuvas. Lūdzu, Vaida, ekrāns ir jūsu.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I will share my screen and we'll start. Yes, do you see my screen? Okay, thank you. So, as a presenter presented me already, my name is Vaida Šerevičienė. I am from Lithuania, from Vilnius Gediminas Technical University, from academic scientific society, and I was invited to talk and present shortly presentation, the cost of inaction on climate change. And so the climate change is a serious concern for Europeans, and it's according to the EU-wide survey published in September 2017, more than 9 in 10 European Union citizens consider climate change to be a serious problem, and it's already known that the climate-related extreme weather events already cost Europe dearly, and even in the future. Also, we can see that the cost of climate change depends very much on how fast we cut the carbon emission, and will be significantly reduced if we keep our temperature rise not above 1.5 degrees Celsius. So we have to keep in mind what we are implementing, what we are doing now, and to keep our good target. So why this is happening? For over even 50 years, scientists have sounded alarms that the burning of fossil fuels is causing changes to the Earth of climate, and that failure to take action on climate change will have devastating consequences. And despite this urgency, CO2 emissions and global temperature is continued to climb and rising. And as you can see from these figures from this slide, that CO2 emissions are rising, and also temperature is rising. So rising global temperature have been accompanied by the changes in weather and climate, and many places have seen changes in rainfall, resulting in more floods, droughts, or intense rain, as well as more frequent and severe heat waves. And even our winters and summers are changing, and we just can't, we don't know how it will be in next year or maybe in 5 years. And the cost of climate inaction can be broken down into 3 categories: direct costs, and indirect costs, and the cost of uncertainty. So, of course, direct costs, it's physical losses associated with more frequent extreme weather events, wildfires, and rising sea levels. And here we can see even already that floods, droughts, heat waves, and other climate-related extremes caused economic losses, even more than 450 billion euros since 1980s. And of course, it's climbing a lot of lives. It's with more than 115,000 people across the Europe. So, but extreme weather events are short-lived, but the effect of extreme weather events can last far longer than a few decades, even more. So, and then we will see that indirect costs like climate change will also result in lower economic growth, lower savings, and lower returns on assets. And the last, but maybe even also very concern, the cost where we have to concern the cost of uncertainty. Investors and markets value uncertainty. So, and we are responsibly familiar with the market impact on uncertainty from range of causes, from policy, politics, international conflicts, and of course, natural disasters. So these uncertainties and the climate change can impact very, very big and long-lasting damage. That's why the investors won't be maybe investing in our areas and so on. So the climate action, which is presented, and today it was a lot of other presenters were speaking, and I think that other presenters will speak later, that it was setting targets for green gas emissions reduction is a key driver for climate action and vital to ensure the world is on a track to avoid catastrophic climate change. And it was in 2015, the global community agreed to try to limit temperature rises to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. And the commitment was sealed in the Paris Agreement. In 2019, the European Union agreed on a long-term climate target and pledged the reach climate neutral economy by 2050. And this means that by that date, domestic emissions will need to be net zero, and will all remaining emissions being absorbed by emissions sinks such as forests. And but the European Union is a global leader in the transition towards a more carbon efficiency economy. We are in a good direction, and citizens and companies across all European Union countries have already succeeded in lowering greenhouse gas emissions, and also the 22%, and while gross domestic product increased by 58% between 1990 and 2017. And so the European Union has demonstrated that it is possible to decouple emissions from economic growth, and that climate action goes hand in hand with the development of new industries, jobs, and technical innovation. And of course, with science and academic society. So in November 2018, the European Commission presented a long-term strategic vision to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and showing how Europe can lead the way to climate neutrality and economic with net zero emissions. And the Europe Commission vision outlines main strategic building blocks. And of course, it's happening, it's already implemented, and they are communities and municipalities are doing that in their action plans. It's of course very important energy efficiency, to use renewable energy sources, of course, clean and safe and connected mobility, transportation in across the Europe. Also, the competitive industry and circular economy, bioeconomy combined together also could be a very good way how to achieve that actions targets. And tackling remaining CO2 emissions with carbon capture and storage technologies, which is can be they originally were produced for decarbonization for electricity production, but it could be also introduced in other technologies. And the only way to get ahead of this crisis of as large as climate change is through groundbreaking technology innovation in clean energy and low carbon technologies. So the focus of Europe Union research should be on transforming greenhouse gas neutral solutions in areas such as electrification, smart network and batteries, hydrogen and fuel cells, of course, other fuel options, alternative fuels, energy storage, carbon neutral transformation of energy intensive industries, the circular economy, the bioeconomy, and sustainable practice in agriculture and forestry. And in the small steps, we are going in a good direction. But the main driving force is cooperation between governments, between municipalities, and of course, cooperation with scientific community and just communities and societies who are living in that area. So this is my last slide, and thank you for the attention.
Paldies, Vaida. Šī bija prezentācija, kas noteikti liek padomāt un mudināt uz aktīvu rīcību. Un par aktīvu rīcību arī mūsu nākamais runātājs, Eiropas Mēru pakta nacionālais vēstnieks no Igaunijas, Rakveres pilsētas domas deputāts Andres Jādla, pastāstīs par renovāciju vilni un to, kā tas pašvaldībām palīdz sasniegt klimata neutralitāti. Lūdzu.
Hello, everybody. Could you see me? I try to share my video, but the Zoom say that you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it. Somebody from organizer, stopped the video. Could you see video?
Mr. Jādla, everything is perfect now. You can go ahead. We can see you.
Thank you very much. And I share my screen. And here is my presentation. First of all, I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak here with my international friends and especially with colleagues and interested people from Latvia. And I see in the list here many friends, and I want to congratulate all leaders of local authorities in Latvia to have this interesting webinar today. I speak a little bit today about 4 topics. This is first of all, what is renovation wave? Other way, I see what is the committed region as representative local authorities to implement this renovation wave thing, and after that I bring some examples from Estonia and from my city of Rakvere. First of all, if you know, European Commission and European Parliament right now started with Green Deal, and our big goal is build a climate neutral Europe, as previous speaker already speaking, the climate neutral Europe till 2015. And one of important part of this Green Deal is European renovation wave. And main focus of this renovation wave that we need refurbished our building stock, and in this reason that our building sector is one of the largest energy consumers in Europe, and responsible more than 1/3 of European CO2 emissions. Right now, our building stocks is not very well renovated, only 1% per year, and with this temp we cannot achieve the goals till 2020. And if you check the numbers, 75% of building stock are energy inefficiency today. And if we continue the same way, all same building is used in year 2015. The European Commission started the renovation wave is part of Green Deal. And this was launched already in 14 October 2020, and is called a renovation wave for Europe, greening our buildings, creating jobs and improving lives. And with this huge program, European Union, we want to create up to 160,000 green jobs for the construction sector. And how important is role of local authorities. This already said the Vice President of European Commission, Frans Timmermans, and said that the local authorities and especially the members of the Government of Mēru have here a leading role. One new things what's coming in with European renovation wave is the energy poverty. Is over 34 million Europeans have problems to paying heating bill, and his homes need the quick renovation. And this is one focus of renovation wave in Europe. And in this case, Commission adopted the new rules for the smart readiness of building. Everybody become this presentation later, and I could read all these documents here in my presentation. Energy efficiency in buildings is important, as my colleague Gunnar Sanchis already said, and this is one of the focus of the renovation wave. And the huge package, the clean energy for all Europeans, is already ready from European Commission, and every country must have a long-term building renovation strategy and national energy action plans. In Estonia, this is already ready, and I hope in Latvia too. And our goal is more energy efficiency buildings by 2013. Commission have many initiatives to support this initiative. A lot of programs coming in the market in next 5-7 years with different horizon programs. And in this slide, you see some of them, like Build Up Initiative, Build Up Skill Initiative, Home Improvements for the Planet, and so on, and this coming many of them in the market in next year. Here you see the process timetable already, what is happening in 2020, and here is what is happening in 2021. And one part of renovation wave is European Bauhaus, new European Bauhaus, and this is, we must focus in 3 phases: new modern codizing, delivery and dissemination, and idea is this new European Bauhaus idea for life at last 5 places. Why not? I think one good place is city of Riga, and I hope this maybe is one goal of Latvian to implement the European Bauhaus. A couple of words about European Community Region. Community Region is European institution, 329 members. In Estonia we have 7 members, and you have delegation from Latvia too. And we have really represent the interest of local authorities in Brussels, and one our direction to implement Green Deal is Committed Region Start Initiatives. Green Deal is going local, and we organize in committee Green Deal going local working group members, and part of this initiative and activity of this working group is European renovation wave, how we can implement this. And this working group has his working program, how we really can if you're looking in the view of the local authorities, how we can really implement or make better all these big strategies what we have in European level. Here you see the different circle of activities what we need to do in local level, and one of the best tools to do is Covenant of Mayors. And in this case, Committee of the Region organized the institution of Covenant of Mayors Ambassadors and launched in April Covenant of Europe National Ambassadors. And in Latvia, his ambassador is Gunnar Ansins, my good colleague from committee, and I represent Estonia as national ambassador. First of all, this institution as Covenant of Mayor Ambassadors is launched by the committee in 2016, and 21 of April launched the second chamber of Covenant Ambassadors, is Covenant Europe National Ambassadors. And as I say, I am a very great honor to be elected as ambassador, national ambassador from Estonia. What we're doing, we really speak in experience on our city. I was 10 years mayor of city of Rakvere, right now vice mayor. What we could really do in the local level and feel these big goals what we have in European level. This is different meeting around of the globe and around of especially different countries, maybe the former Soviet Union area, this program Covenant of Mayor to the east, from Ukraine, from Moldova, Belarus, and other countries. We have quite good cooperation with Latvia. I have to prevent this presentation. I remember I was like already 4 years ago in Latvia in Ape, and this was huge interest for Covenant of Mayor movements. You see maybe some colleagues know yourself here, and this was very interesting to give Estonian experience to our neighbors, good Latvian colleagues, and I think we must continue this practice in future. So what we're doing in my hometown, in Estonia, in my city, is we make a plan. I recommend this plan for every municipality in Latvia. We have one of the first in Estonia who really want to keep climate neutral Rakvere. This is huge program, but it is in preparation phases right now. But we want to build new sustainable energy and climate action plan for Rakvere, and goal is will follow the European goal to be climate neutral Europe 2015. One of things is renovation of multi-stock building in Rakvere, and Estonian government's giving during COVID time more like 100 million euro to help renovation of the housing stock in Estonia, and Rakvere is one of the first city in Estonia who have all Soviet times buildings are renovated. Here you see our city hall. This is first nearly zero using energy public city hall in Estonia, and we using like in winter time. This is 1,500 square meter, and the heating cost, the heating bill was already almost 120 euros, and this is not much for such kind of huge building. And if I already say, Rakvere is the first city in Estonia where most Soviet area apartment buildings are renovated. Same have Estonia. Estonia have a strong strategy, long-term strategy to renovate the housing stock. And they have many different programs, like Powerpool is one of them, who with different countries, you see Latvia is part of this program too, to help the housing cooperatives, the process of renovation. Here see how this really happened, what this short time, I cannot explain everything deeply, but I hope you can read this later. In Estonia, we have call it with Ministry of Economic Affairs, we have next 10 years program with hopefully helping with Life IP program. This is Life IP Builders, and this focus with mitigation sub-program and how we can implement Estonian buildings long-term renovation strategy. What is already proved by Estonian government, that how we can really in national level, in Estonian level, implement the renovation waves in Estonia. Here is different focus, what we need to do to decarbonize Estonia's existing building stock and have more energy efficiency and circularity principles for renovation. Here you see all this process, how this could look like. Here is different partners. You see here the ministries, you see universities here, you see non-profit organization, you see construction sector, you see municipalities. This is like all Estonian strategy, and I think in this case, implementation of renovation must work in every country level. Here you see the map of Estonia, and here is 3 municipalities who are part of this life builders. This is Rakvere, Tartu, and Võru, close to Latvian border, and I hope this is next 10-year long-time vision how we really come together with government to renovate our building stock. I come back to the Rakvere. I already said we have our climate neutral Rakvere plan, our sustainable energy climate action plan is process of preparation. But I think this is ready, and this year August I can maybe next presentation say what is result which we have. To finish my presentation, I show some future of renovation. I be feeling in Estonia strong interest from Latvia side how we can renovate with prefabricated blocks and with double the speed of renovation. Here you see the old building with these prefabricated blocks. We renovate this with 1-2 weeks, and after the renovation, the buildings look so. And if I finish my presentation, we see 2 videos. One, how this renovation with prefabricated blocks works in Estonia, and second one is the renovation vibe video from European Commission. I thank you very much for attention, and if you have questions in Estonia about government of mayors, about how we can really implement this in local authorities levels, I'm ready to help our good colleagues from Latvia. So I already finished my presentation, and if you can share the videos, I'm very happy if you could do this. This in different program. I stop my sharing, and you can check this 2 short video. Thank you very much.
Lieliska prezentācija, Andres, paldies! Un ar šo prezentāciju Andres it kā pārmet tiltiņu uz mūsu 3. šīs zaļās dienas webināru, kurā mēs runāsim par jauno Bauhaus iniciatīvu. Un kas zina, varbūt tiešām Rīga, un ne tikai Rīga, bet arī citas Latvijas pilsētas kļūst par šīs iniciatīvas locekliem. Bet jebkurā gadījumā enerģiski cilvēki un aktīva rīcība vienmēr ir iedvesmojoši. Un uz šīs iedvesmas nots mēs turpināsim mūsu webināru 2. daļu, kurā pašvaldības mēru paktu parakstītājs dalīsies ar saviem pieredzes stāstiem. Un kā pirmajai es dodu vārdu Ievai Dillei, Smiltenes novada domas attīstības plānošanas nodaļas vadītājai no Latvijas.
Sandra?
Jā?
Sandra, mums vēl noslēgumā bija video no Jādlas kunga. Kamēr Ieva Dille gatavojas. Sagatavo savu tekstu, tad mēs gribējām parādīt. Mr. Yadav will show your videos now.
Yes, I see only the first picture, but this is very quick video, like I think 1 minute or something.
Yes, sure.
This is how this pilot project in territory of Tallinn Technical University, this ordinary blockhouse, and scientists work how the prefabricated blocks in fabrics, and with 1 week you can cover these old Soviet time blocks, and this is very energy efficiency, very quick and very good way to renovate. And I know that if the border would open the next month, beginning of June, and some delegation from Latvia is coming to Estonia to see how we can implement this in Latvia too. And Riga have huge interest for this program. And this one is European Commission video about renovation way.
I want Next Generation EU to kickstart a European renovation wave and make our union a leader in the circular economy.
Renovation is a win-win solution. It will reduce energy bills and improve people's living conditions. It will create jobs and help recovery, and it will help us to become a carbon-neutral continent by the middle of this century.
The green recovery must begin where we live, work and study. We need better buildings to build back better. Our renovation wave will support families and businesses who want to insulate their homes and offices, green their roofs, install charging points for electric vehicles in their garages, or heat and cool their homes with self-generated renewable energy.
So once again, from my side, thank you very much. And with big interest, I see the experience from Latvia's cities and municipalities. Thank you very much.
Jā, paldies, Andres, paldies par prezentācijām. Un nu gan vārds Ievai Dillei par smiltenes pieredzi ceļā uz klimata rīcības plānu un tā īstenošanu. Lūdzu.
Labdien! Tā, nošērošu savu ekrānu. Tā. Redzat ekrānu, ja? Tā. Sākšu, savu prezentāciju. Tad mans prezentācijas nosaukums ir smiltenes pieredze ceļā uz klimata rīcības plānu un tā īstenošanu. Un mazliet ieskicēšu, kā mums ir veicies un kādas aktivitātes mēs tieši esam veikuši, lai pielāgotos klimata pārmaiņām un kā izveidojuši šo te klimata rīcības plāna daļu. Savu stāstījumu sākšu ar to, ka 2016. gadā Smiltenes novada domas deputāti pieņem lēmumu pievienoties šajai te Mēru pakta programmai. Tika noteikti arī šie te kopējie mērķi, tātad Smiltenes novada teritorijā līdz 2030. gadam ar vismaz 40%. Kā arī mērķis tika noteikts palielināt šo te noturību, pielāgojoties klimatu pārmaiņu ietekmei. Sākotnēji varbūt mums bija tādas lielākas bažas par to, kā mēs sasniegsim šo ietaupījumu, kādi pasākumi, aktivitātes mums kā pašvaldībai ir jāveic, lai izpildītu šos te noteiktos mērķus. Lūk, un lai tā kā uzlabotu pašvaldības kapacitāti, zināšanas par šiem klimata jautājumiem, par klimatu pārmaiņu mazināšanos, par šiem pasākumiem, energoefektivitāti, mēs izlēmām pieteikties Mēru pakta sadraudzības programmām. Tad aizpildījām un nosūtījām šo te pieteikšanās anketu un bijām ļoti pateikami pārsteigti, ka Smiltene tika izvēlēta šajā programmā kopā ar Grieķijas pilsētu Mūsu, kā arī vēlāk mums pievienoja šo te Itālijas pilsētu Leči. Un mani kolēģi arī devās pieredzes apmaiņas braucienā uz Mūsu, tika pārunāti dažādākās tēmas, gan par ilgspējas enerģētikas klimata rīcības plāniem, gan arī dalījās savā pieredzē, tāpatās mēs arī dalījāmies savā pieredzē, pastāstījām par savu enerģijas datu platformu, kas šobrīd mums ir izveidot, gan arī kā mēs izglītības iestādēs rīkojam šo skolu energoefektivitātes konkursu. Un manuprāt, tā ir ļoti labā iespēja kā pašvaldības, kas ir parakstījušas Mēru paktu, var pieteikties šāda veida programmā un uzlabot savas zināšanas taisnību par dažādiem klimata jautājumiem, pielāgošanās, samazināšanas pasākumiem. Vēl, ko es gribētu pieminēt, tas mums ir projekts Life Adaptate, ko pašvaldība īsteno jau no 2017. gada. Un šajā te projektā ir iesaistījušās pašvaldības no Spānijas, Portugāles un katrā projektā ietveros iesaistītā pašvaldība tad veids dažādas aktivitātes, pasākumus, uzdevumus, kas saistīti ar klimatu pielāgošanos. Un kā arī vismaz viens infrastruktūras objekts tad jāuzlabo, jāattīsta tā, lai pielāgotos klimata pārmaiņām. Mūsu projekta partneri, piemēram, īsteno tādas pilotprojektus kā noēnojuma izveida, apūdeņošanas sistēmas izveida Spānijā vai Portugālē, bet mēs te Latvijā veicām vidusezera hidrotehnisko būvju rekonstrukciju un vidusezera tīrīšanu. Tad vidusezers ir mākslīgi veidots ezers, kurš ir viens no Abulas upes kaskādes ezeriem, un tāpēc tas ietekmē visu Abulu upes caurteci. Un gadu gaitā eitrofikācijas rezultātā ezers bija aizaudzis, kļuvis ļoti sekls, kā arī uz ezera izbūvētās slūžas vairs nebija darbināmas. Un projekta ietveros tika veikta šī vidusezera padziļināšana un attīrīšana, kā arī esošo slūžu rekonstrukcija, lai novērstu šos plūdu riskus un mazinātu eitrofikācijas procesu. Un šīs darbības rezultātā tika uzlabota šī ezera spēja uzkrāt ūdeni un kontrolēt tā ūdens līmeni, un tas arī uzlaboja šo ūdens kvalitāti ezerā un veicināja šo ezera izmantošanu tāpatās rekreācijai un atpūtai. Tad vēl šajā Life Adaptate projekta ietveros, kā jau minēju, tika veiktas dažādas šīs aktivitātes, un viena no tādām aktivitātēm vai uzdevumiem mums bija jāveic, tā bija klimata rīcības daļas izstrāde. Un tad, lai izstrādātu šo ilgtspējas enerģētikas klimata rīcības plānu, 2019. gadā rīkojām tādas kā sanāksmes, kur aicinājās gan dažādi institūciju pārstāvis, kā piemēram no valsts mežiem, tāpatās dabas aizsardzības pārvaldi un citas institūcijas, lai saprastu, diskutētu un identificētu tos potenciālos rīcības plānā iekļaujamos pasākumus. Un dalībniekiem arī bija tā iespēja vērtēt noteiktās šīs aktivitātes pasākumus, lai noteikti svarīgākos, ko mums ir nepieciešams iekļaut mūsu smiltenes plānā. Un pateicoties šīm sanāksmēm, mums bija arī vieglāk izveidot šo klimata rīcības plānu. Šeit arī ir foto no mūsu vienas no šīm sanāksmēm. Tad es vēl esmu ielikusi informāciju par to, kad mēs 20. gadā īstenojām arī šo infodienu projekta Life Adaptate un Green Palette ietvaros. Tā kā, jā, jūs redzat, atvainojiet, redzat šo attēlu, kur iedzīvotāji tika aicināti aicināt iedzīvotāju piedalīties šajā aktivitātē. Tad mēs aicinājām, iedzīvotāji tad varēja balsot par tādiem pasākumiem, ko viņi vēlētos lai pašvaldība īstenotu. Tad mums arī bija šeit tādas kā burkas izliktas, kur iedzīvotāji ar čiekuriem varēja nobalsot, piemēram, vai viņi vēlas velo infrastruktūras izbūvi, vai arī, piemēram, izveidot šo zaļo infrastruktūru. Lūk, un pēdējā slaidā gribētu izstāstīt par to, kad īstenotie klimata pielāgošanas pasākumi, ko mēs šobrīd jau esam veikuši 2020. gadā, tad mēs esam izveidojuši pilsētas centrā tika veikta šī pārbūve, un paralēli arī tika sastādīti šie koki smiltenes centrā. Šeit arī viens attēls no darbīgā procesa, un, manuprāt, tas ir svarīgi domāt par šiem zaļajiem elementiem, jo klimata prognozes rāda, kad vasaras karsto un saulaino dienu skaits potenciāli pieaugs, un gājēju uzturēšanās uz ielām posmos, kur nav šis noēnojums, var būt ļoti apgrūtināta, īpaši, piemēram, veciem cilvēkiem. Un otrs, pasākumiem, ko jau mēs arī pagājušajā gadā veicām, tā ir izveidot brīvā piekļuva Lizdovas ezeram, tad peldētava, kur iedzīvotāji tad var atveldzēties karstajās vasaras dienās. Tā, tas no mūsu puses. Paldies par uzmanību.
Liels paldies, Ieva, par interesanto prezentāciju. Jūs, smiltenieši, esat malači, un lai jums viss izdodas. Bet tagad es aicinu ļoti aktīvu cilvēku, kuram ir daudz inovatīvu ideju un kurš prot tās arī īstenot. Klimata programmu koordinātoru no Mehelenes pilsētas Beļģijā, Arno Rūlenu, atklāt noslēpumu, kā kļūt par Eiropas zaļās lapas balvas uzvarētāju. Lūdzu, Arno.
Yeah, thank you for these very kind words. I think you can see my presentation now. Okay, so I would like to start by thanking for those kind words, and also that I would have loved to see you all in person if it wasn't for this corona crisis we're currently all suffering in. Because I've heard your country is really beautiful, and I think we can all inspire each other. And the best way to inspire is to see and to live each other's examples. Now, I also want to excuse our Mayor van der Smissen and our Vice Mayor Marina de Bie, who would have loved to be here but had scheduling issues. And I was also very interested and very excited to see all your presentations because it's yet another time to prove that we're all facing very similar, if not the same challenges. I was very much impressed by the Power Poor project and other projects that were presented today. Now, how to become a European Green Leaf winner. I've seen a lot of potential European Green Leaf winners pass already today, I think. But we won 2 years ago, and we won the Green Leaf in 2020. So I'll shortly explain to you how to become a sustainable city, because that's the most important thing to become a green leaf, is to actually be a sustainable city. And then the question, what's in it for me? Because that's always, as a municipality, it's a matter of priorities. So why should you join the covenant? Why should you apply for a green leaf? What's in it for me as a local community? And some tips for applying, some ways of, some hints to do this. As a short introduction, the city of Mechelen is situated in Belgium. We're in the center of Belgium between Antwerp and Brussels. So we're in what we call the Flemish Square. So a very highly populated area. And you see here our territory. But we also, the city of Mechelen has an interesting territory because we have a very high, dense urban territory. But on the other side of the highway, we have what we call, in our Belgium context, open space, although you still have a few municipalities there. So just to give you an idea where we are, we joined the Covenant of Mayors in 2012. We renewed for the new covenant in 2018, and we wrote our new climate action plan in 2020, including a risk and vulnerability assessment and our sustainable energy and climate action plan. We then won the EGLA 2020. I must say 2019 was a very busy year because we had to both apply for the Green Leaf and write a new climate plan. But it was it was a train going very fast. And remember, that was the time when all the youths throughout Europe was demonstrating. So we felt the time was right for change. The time was right to move forward and go the next step in our ambitions concerning climate. We now have the opportunity to be member of the Covenant board. So we also bring our experience to this board. And we were among the first to sign the new covenant a few weeks ago. Now, I think the first and most important thing, how to win a European Green Leaf or how to become a pioneer city on climate, is you have to see sustainability as not something of the climate department or the environmental department. It's something that's everybody's responsibility. I always try to begin meetings with, I'm not here, I'm here for 800 civil servants and I'm here for 86,000 inhabitants. These are the people who are all trying to live sustainability. And I think sustainability and climate are coming more and more together. If you look at the teams that are listed here who are important for the European Green Leaf Award, and if you look at the pillars we use in our new climate action plan, so it's both mitigation, the less CO2 pillar, as different adaptation pillars, you see there's a lot of intersection. Of course, there are some teams who are more environmental that are important to the European Green Leaf, but they're moving more and more towards together through adaptation. As a short idea of what we do in Mechelen, so we divided in pillars. We looked at what are our climate issues. So obviously it's lessening the CO2, but also trying to control the urban heat islands, keeping flooding away, and supporting our wet nature. And we have the advantage of being in a wetland area, but we haven't treated it very well at the last century. So we are restoring it and making the wetlands wet again. Last pillar, but definitely not less important, is a circular economy, because we tend to look a lot at direct energy usage through households, etc., which is very important, but everything we do has embedded energy in it, has embedded resources in it. So circular economy has become a part of the climate program. Now, how to become a climate neutral city? Well, this is Mechelen. This is what it used to be like at the very 90s, beginning of 2000. The city was a bit in decay. And then we turned it around. We turned it around by making spaces green again for people. So you're looking at the exact same space. It used to be a parking lot, but is now an open space for water and for meeting and for green recreation. But it's not something the city does from its offices. It's something we do together with inhabitants. This is a normal street in Mechelen, and the people were fed up of having to live in this very busy area. So they changed it. We looked together and we said, okay, let's eliminate the parking spaces and make green space. This is an in-between situation, and now it's going to be a definitive green street. But it's something you have to do together with people. It's not something you can think of in the town hall. And then it's also something that has to be run throughout the administration. We have ambassadors in every department, ambassadors for mobility, ambassadors for the circular economy, ambassadors that work with the people, but also people in poverty, in difficult situations. We look at how we can include them or get them on board on the climate train, so we can get everybody's nose in the same direction. We give small subsidies for this kind of green projects, so everybody can contribute in their own way. So I think that gives a bit of an idea. I think the video at the end will give you a better idea of what Mechelen is about on climate. But maybe short, why and how? Why should you become covenant, and why should you think of becoming part of the European Green Leaf Network? Well, we experience that, as I said in the beginning, we're all facing the same challenges. I mean, from an adaptation point of view, obviously Spain will be facing some different challenges as Latvia, but it's all going to be very similar challenges. And from a CO2 point of view, we're all in the same challenge. So I think that's the first thing. We have to exchange experience. We learn a lot from Spain how they treat heat. We have a good experience on that. Secondly, I think the network you build throughout this project is a basis to do things together. I've seen nice examples in these presentations for shared projects. We have different European projects running, and they're all based on network, on discussing together what are problems we have. Could we do a project on that? Thirdly, internal leverage. We choose and we want to be a climate pioneer in Flanders, Belgium, and in Europe, and we want to stand at the forefront. That means that within our own municipality, everybody has to believe in this and has to do this, and there's no way back. I mean, we are a climate pioneer, so that it gives us internal leverage. If we have decisions, and we all know municipalities have difficult decisions, we have to weigh different options. That's something that definitely is in the balance to say, okay, but we're a climate pioneer, we should do better. It's the only way forward. So I don't think we really have a choice but to become covenant, but to become a European Green Leaf. It's the future. It's the only way forward. And in the end, it is not about anonymous CO2. It is not about adaptation measure that you will only see the impact in 10, 20 years. It's about building a better place. It's about changing that parking lot that was a strain or was difficult on your local environment into a space for people. I think that's the main message why we should all do this together, and why the European Covenant and the Green Leaf are good ways to do it. To give an idea, the last 10 years, we had 36 European projects. It's across different themes, so not only climate. There's almost 10 million euros that we got into the city through these projects. projects on renovation, on water, on circular economy. And it's not only the money that's in there, but in the beginning you think, okay, it's the money, but definitely the exchange of experience is very, very valuable. I mean, we're all doing the same thing. Why not learn from each other? European Green Leaf, more specifically, what did it bring to Mechelen? Well, it has a lasting impact. We did a rather big, large, or going to do a rather large depavement project. We planned it, and then we started the plans. We planned a global conference. We planned the sustainability festival. We did a small collaboration with the hospitality sector. We included in city branding and are going to launch a new green walk. But you have to know, we opened our new year in the beginning of March 2020, and then the COVID-19 hit. So all festivities and these things were cancelled or postponed. But we used the money to do some good things. I like this picture a lot because it says a lot. It's not only we use the money to put in a drinking water fountain, which is helping in the heat island effect, helping people to get access to drinking water, but it's also a place where we did depavement in the very easy way. We just broke up the concrete, and so the water can infiltrate now. And that's also a green wall behind it. The person who took the picture was not aware there are so many different elements in this picture. Collaboration with the hospitality sector, we said, okay, we're going to give you some funding. How are you going to make your sector more sustainable? Gives a good exposure to the city with representatives from the DGs. We did a project, the sustainability sector said, okay, we're going to launch a sustainable coffee cup instead of all the takeaway, throwaway cups. So I think it gives a good idea. And it's, as I said, internal leverage. That's our mayor, who is very proud to sign this picture, the circular economy pact. But it's also, we link it to the European Green Leaf. So it's all about linking it together. So I hope I convinced you it's the only way forward. And I think we really paid off for Mechelen. Some specific tips for applying. How can you apply? Well, basic thing is to become a sustainable city. I mean, that's the most important thing, to demonstrate how you're integrating all these different elements. Think what sets you apart, what is different. We all have the same challenges, but we also have some specifics. What sets you apart? What can you bring to the network? What can you communicate to the European network? What's unique for your approach? Don't forget to communicate. We're doing amazing things throughout Europe, but the most important thing we always forget is to tell everybody doing. So communicate, 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 and be an ambassador. Don't be afraid to be out there and say, okay, this is the way forward, and our city stands for this change. So that's some specific tips. I think I have a video. Normally it should be ready. So I hope it will be shown now.
Wist je dat we onze eeuwenoude stad samen elke dag opnieuw een beetje beter maken? Beter voor de mensen en voor het milieu. Door te sorteren en te recycleren. Door oude spullen een nieuw leven te geven. En we maken onze stad elke dag een beetje groener. Met nieuwe parkjes, pleintjes en onverwachte groene oases. Met verse, eigen producten uit onze tuintjes. Met fietsen, elektrische of die met gezonde spierkracht. En met slimme verlichting, binnen en buiten. We maken Mechelen ook een beetje leuker door iedereen samen te brengen. Dankjewel Mechelaars, om samen te zorgen voor een duurzame toekomst voor onze stad.
Because it still says finalist, but it's winner now. So thank you for your attention, and don't hesitate if there's any questions to ask them. Thank you.
Paldies! Mēs redzam, ka ir patiesi ieguldīts liels darbs un ka šī te zaļās lapas balva ir pelnīti iegūta, par ko mēs arī no sirds jūs apsveicam. Bet man ir pārliecība, ka ja var Mehelena, tad var arī citas pašvaldības un pilsētas. Un ko var Liepāja, kas ir klimata neitrāls ekonomikas dzinējspēks Liepājai un liepājniekiem, par to Mārtiņš Tīdens Liepājas pilsētas pašvaldības administrācijas izpilddirektora vietnieks. Mārtiņ, lūdzu.
Labdien! Paldies par jauko ievadu un gribu teikt paldies organizatoriem par to, ka ir iespēja pastāstīt to, kā Liepāja tātad redz savu attīstību energoefektivitātes ziņā un klimata pārmaiņu ziņā. Un, lai to visu iesākt, es aicināšu demonstrēt video par Liepājas pieredzi, lūdzu.
Šodien dienas kārtībā, es domāju, globāli mums ir saprast to, cik daudz katra pilsēta, katra valsts var dot tam, lai samazinātu šo negatīvo ietekmi uz klimatu un uz dabu. Un šodien mēs Liepājā parādīsim to, kā mēs to darām. Pirmais, ko mēs darījām, lai cīnītos ar klimata pārmaiņām, ir sakārtojām siltumapgādes sistēmu Liepājas pilsētā. Un šodien mēs varam lepoties ar Liepājas enerģiju, kas ir viens no modernākajiem uzņēmumiem valstī, un katru gadu iemaksā pilsētas budžetā dividendes, ar kuru mēs tālāk sakārtojam pilsētas iekšpagalmus un kultūra vēsturisko mantojumu. Mums ir svarīgi tas, lai Liepājā liepājniekiem būtu ērts sabiedriskais transports, lai liepājnieki varētu droši pārvietoties ar velosipēdiem, ar nomas riteņiem, un lai vispār Liepājas centrs būtu pēc iespējas draudzīgāks iedzīvotājiem, kājām gājējiem un velobraucējiem. Un Liepājas tramvajs, protams, ir neatņemama pilsētas identitāte.
Paldies! Un tagad es uzlikšu prezentāciju. Tātad par to, kā tad šie procesi notiek Liepājā. Un tātad Liepāja pievienojās Mēru paktam 2012. gadā, un bāzes līnija mums ir 2006. gads. Un šeit jūs redzat enerģijas patēriņa izmaiņas kopš 2006. gada, un mēs redzam 3 lielos vaļus. Tātad ar zilo krāsu apakšējais ir siltumenerģijas patēriņš, tad mēs redzam dabasgāzes patēriņu, un tas lielais 3. valis ir privātā transporta patēriņš. Un ja siltumenerģijas patēriņš tātad mums ir nemainīgs, varētu teikt, pēdējos gados, kaut arī mājas tiek renovētas, tas ir uz jaunu klientu rēķina, un tas ir ļoti svarīgi, lai tātad klienti, kuri savus mājokļus apsilda ar citu veidu enerģiju, pievienotās centralizētai siltumapgādei, kas izmanto lielā mērā atjaunojamo enerģiju. Vairāk kā 70% tātad tiek darbināta ar šķeldu. Problēma pašvaldībai vislielākā ir privātais autotransports, jo to pašvaldības līmenī ietekmēt ir sarežģīti. Savukārt gāze arī tātad turās noteiktā līmenī, un tas ir saistīts ar to, ka arī tiek efektivizēti uzņēmumi, bet viņu skaits palielinās. Pēdējos 4 gados Liepājā ir radušās 11 jaunas rūpnīcas, kas, protams, savā ražošanas procesā izmanto gāzi. Ja mēs skatāmies, kā tas ietekmē CO2 emisijas Liepājā, tad šeit var redzēt, cik milzīgi ar emisiju 2006. gadā radīja centralizētā siltumapgāde un cik ir 2018. gadā. Jaunākie dati vēl tiek apkopoti un drīzumā būs pieejami Mēru pakta mājaslapā, bet pie tiem mēs vēl strādājam. Mēs redzam, ka privātā transporta tātad emisijas ir ļoti ievērojamas un arī dabasgāzes patēriņš savu pēdu atstāja. Mēs mēram arī CO2 emisiju patēriņu uz iedzīvotāju. Mēs redzam, ka no 2006. gada enerģijas patēriņš samazinājies ir minimāli, toties CO2 patēriņš uz iedzīvotāju ir samazinājies par 35%. Tāds viens piemērs, ka pilsētā pēdējos gados minimāli samazinās iedzīvotāju daudzums, kas Liepājas pilsētā ir 70,000, bet, piemēram, privātais autotransports skaits par pēdējos gados ir pieaudzis vairāk tūkstošu automašīnu veidā, un tas noteikti dod savu pienesumu. Tas, ko dara pašvaldība, 2 gadus atpakaļ mēs sapratām, ka energoefektivitāte ir jāplāno un jāplāno ēku līmenī. Un katrai ēkai mums ir pieejams šāds online rīks, kur tiek saņemti dati par elektroenerģijas un siltumenerģijas patēriņu tātad katrā ēkā, un katrai ēkai ir uzstādīts mērķis. Tātad mērķis ir redzams, cik pilnīgi katru dienu attaisot šo rīku, ir redzams, kāds ir status uz konkrēto dienu, un šo bildi es pievienoju pāris dienas atpakaļ, un te mēs redzam elektroenerģiju konkrētā ēkā, un mēs redzam, ka ir tātad 9,2% labāk nekā uzstādīts mērķis. Tas, protams, arī zināmā mērā ar pandēmiju saistīts, bet pirmsskolas izglītības iestādes strādā un elektroenerģiju tērē. Tieši tāpat tās ir arī apkurē, kur tiek ņemt vērā ārgaisa temperatūra un pat vējš un pat saule un visādi faktori, kas tiek analizēti. Un ēka apsaimniekotājiem ir ļoti ērti redzēt, vai mērķis ir sasniegts vai nav, un ja nav, tad par to katru dienu var saņemt paziņojumu un meklēt iemeslus, kāpēc tā. Tas ir ļoti svarīgi, to mēs esam sapratuši, ka šī sistēma ļoti labi darbojas. Kāda tad mums ir mērķi 30. gadam? Mēs esam apņēmušies 45% pret 2006. gada noturēt emisiju līmeni samazinājumu, samazināt enerģijas patēriņu pašvaldības ēkās par 5% attiecībā pret 18. gadu, un tas ir diezgan liels izaicinājums, jo ēkas ir atjaunots, renovēts jau labu laiku iepriekš, un šī energoefektivitātes uzturēšana prasa faktiski ļoti ievērojams pūles, un vēl to paaugstināt ir tiešām liels izaicinājums, bet cenšamies un arī izdodās. Un, protams, kad ir jāpielāgojas klimata pārmaiņu ietekmei. Kādas tad ir rīcības iekļautas plānā? Pirmkārt, lai šādu plānu sastādītu, mēs iesaistījām diezgan daudz cilvēkus, nozares speciālistus, kas ar saviem padomiem piedalījās fórumos un kopīgi šo plānu radījām. Tad ir tātad, ja mēs runājam par enerģijas ražošanas sektoru, tad jau tādas centrālās siltumtrases viss ir nomainīts un turpinās attiecīgi tādas mazākas jaudas siltumtrašu nomaiņa. Protams, kad ir maksimāli jāizmanto atjaunojamie energoresursi, un, kā es minēju, centralizētā siltuma apgādē tas notiek pilnā sparā. Un ļoti svarīga lieta ir pievienot jaunus patērētājus centralizētās siltuma apgādes sistēmai. Ēku sektorā. Protams, ka jāuztur energo pārvaldības sistēma, kas attiecas uz pašvaldību un jārāda labā pieredze arī privātam sektoram. Protams, kad ir jābūt šim vārdam ilgtspējība, lai mēs ieguldītu jēgpilni pieejamos resursus ēkās un infrastruktūrā. Kā jau es minēju, pārēju uz atjaunojumiem energoresursiem arī ēku līmenī. Un tas, kas vēl Liepājā ir priekšā, tā ir racionāla atjaunojamo energoresursu lietošana privātu mājās. Un mēs zinām, ka Latvijas valstī tagad jauna programma par privātu mājām, ko ekonomikas ministrija reklamē un kas drīz būs pieejama. Protams, ka ļoti svarīgi ir sabiedrības informēšana. Tad mēs jau 10 gadus atpakaļ sākām ar pašvaldības darbinieku informēšanu, un tie ir daudz, 2800, ieskaitot visas iestādes un aģentūras. Un šī informācija, protams, iet arī, viņi nes to mājās, varētu teikt tā. Un vēl, protams, tas ir jāturpina un jāturpina dažādos veidos, kā centralizētās siltumapgādes uzņēmumu mājaslapā, tā uz rēķiniem, ko saņem cilvēki, tā var tikt rīkot sacensības un konkursi ēku līmenī vai arī pat mikrorajonu līmenī, enerģijas dienas rīkošana, ko mēs visi Mēru pakta dalībnieki pazīstam, un vēl dažādi stimulu noteikšana. Un tā tad pielāgošanās klimata pārmaiņām. Ko tad mēs redzam šajā rīcībā? Tātad ir jāatrod tās vājās vietas, tātad pilsētā, kur ir jāpieliek lielākas pūles, un jāsāk ir ar to. Piemēram, uzlabot agrīnās brīdināšanas un prognozēšanas sistēmas. Nu, tad šogad ir ieviesta mobilā lietotne vai aplikācija, ar kuras palīdzību pašvaldība var informēt iedzīvotājus par jebkuru tādu ļoti svarīgu gadījumu, piemēram, vētras tuvošanos vai ūdens līmeņa celšanos vai jebkādu citu veidu brīdinājumu. Un tas ir visātrākais kanāls, ja iedzīvotājs, tātad liepājnieks, ir lejuplādējis šo aplikāciju, tad šī ziņa sasniegs momentāni. Ja arī bezmaksas brīvi piekļūstam dzeramā ūdens jautājums mums ir jārisina plašāk publiskās vietās, jo vasaras paliek karstāks un tas ir būtiski. Tad mums ir jūras krasts vietām, tas ir diezgan stāvs un tur veidojas nogrūmi, un tur mēs arī aizvien tā aktīvāk mēģinām apmeklētājus brīdināt un ieviest drošības pasākumus, lai nenotiktu kaut kādi nelaimes gadījumi. Un šīs vietas, protams, vēju un lietus ietekmē, viņas kļūst bīstamas. Un, protams, ka nepieciešama ir ekspertu apmācība par klimata pārmaiņu jautājumiem. Lūk, organizatori aspekti pavisam īsi. Mums ir izveidota tāda darba grupa, kur ir dažādu iesaistīto pārstāvju dalība, kas kopīgi apspriež šos jautājumus. Un pavisam īsi ir ļoti tādas aptuvenas finansējuma aplēses. Tās ir organizatoriskās izmaksas, kādas mēs esam identificējuši, lai tuvākajā laikā spērt nākamos soļus. Tas man īsumā arī viss, un es novēlu visiem sasniegt savus izvirzītos mērķus un dalīties ar informāciju un aizvien jaunus mērķus izvirzīt, lai ar ambīcijām iet uz priekšu. Paldies!
Mārtiņ, liels paldies par aizraujošo prezentāciju. Manuprāt, ka skaitļi, kas tika parādīti prezentācijā, ļoti pārliecinoši runāja par to, ka tie ieguldījumi un tie pasākumi, ko Liepājas pilsēta dara, sasniedz savu mērķi. Tas man tiešām šķita pārliecinoši. Un es ceru, ka kopumā šie te pašvaldību pieredzes stāsti bija noderīgi un iedvesmojoši, un tie liks padomāt un pārdomāt, un ne tikai padomāt, bet arī rīkoties. Diemžēl laiks ir nepielūdzams, patiesībā mēs esam jau mazliet pārtērējuši savu laiku, un tādēļ noslēguma piezīmēm vārds Pedro Bizarro, Eiropas Mēru pakta padomniekam. Lūdzu.
Hello, I'll be brief. As you said, we are already running out of time. But I would like to give my first word to the Latvian Association of Local and Regional Governments for organizing such an amazing event. I think it has been a great event that we had through this 1 hour and a half. The Latvian Association is also a Covenant of Mayors supporter and has been giving an excellent support to the promotion of the Covenant of Mayors. I would like also to thank all the speakers, to the ambassadors of the Covenant of Mayors in Latvia, the ambassadors of Covenant of Mayors in Estonia, for sharing their experience and their knowledge, and extend also these thank you words to all the other speakers. and as well to all participants that stayed with us. I think this has been a great example of the added value of the Covenant of Mayors. We have been able to bring together what is our common EU targets and our common EU policies with concrete examples at local level. Cities are making this change, are driving this change. We had examples from building renovation to energy efficiency to the reconversion of car parks, many examples of an experience of award-winning municipality of Mechelen, and sharing with all of us tips also to become more sustainable and to apply for these awards. Also excellent examples of the added value of transnational cooperation with examples of different projects and the different municipalities in different countries in the EU cooperating towards the same goal. The added value of a peer learning program of the Covenant of Mayors that you can also benefit if you are a Covenant of Mayors signatory. And I think that the main message is that time is now. Time is now to take climate action, to make the most of the moment that we live, to make the most of the fundings and the availables through the recovery and resilience plans, through the renovation wave, through the cohesion policy, through all programs and fundings available to target and to address and to take climate action. So I would like to invite all of you, for those who are, and many of you are already Covenant of Mayors signatories, to renew your commitment to 2050, to become climate neutral by 2050. We are here to provide you all the support. For those who are not yet members of the Covenant of Mayors, to join the Covenant of Mayors and benefit from this huge community of expertise and knowledge that we have. We will have ceremonies around October, around the second half of the year, to celebrate with all the municipalities that are renewing their commitment. And this is my invitation to you, is to use these months that we have to conduct your internal processes. I know that you have local elections soon in Latvia, so this is also an important moment and that can trigger this change. To renew your commitments, and I hope to see you all there around October. I'm sure you will receive more information about this in the forthcoming weeks, to celebrate with all of you a fairer and a climate neutral Europe. So I think we also have to finalize a video from the European Commissioner for Energy, Kadri Simpson, inviting all of you to join the Covenant of Mayors and to take climate action.
My dear friends, mayors and local representatives, the Covenant of Mayors has been the leading reference point for local energy and climate action for many years. In 2021, we celebrate its 13th anniversary. The Commission has supported the Covenant since day one. This is one of our proudest achievements. I'm grateful to you for this success, for your ambition, for your dedication, for your capacity to always push the limits of local energy and climate action. I know the past year has been difficult on all of us. In these tough times, we have all had to deal with the emergency of the pandemic. At the same time, we never stopped preparing for the future, a cleaner, greener, better future. I know that this is your priority. It is ours too, now more than ever. European Union has committed to be the world's first climate neutral region no later than by 2050. We also pledged to reduce our emissions by at least 55% by 2030. These are far more than just numbers. These bring countless benefits for our citizens, real progress, and this is thanks to you. Cities drive the energy transition on the ground and are at the forefront of the fight against climate change. You are not just partners, you are leaders, you are implementers, and you inspire us to do more. You turn our policies and objectives into clean buses, bike lanes, You install solar PVs on our roofs. You renovate our buildings, sometimes our entire neighborhoods, implementing the renovation wave and fighting energy poverty. You enable new forms of producing and consuming clean energy by supporting the creation of energy communities and citizen cooperatives. Innovation stems from the cities, reinventing the way we live, we move, we work, always towards better sustainability. In the past few years, you clearly found new exciting avenues for energy and climate. This is true for cities of all sizes, all across Europe, from north to south and from west to east. This collective movement paved the way for us at the Commission to do more. Now, the time has come to open a new chapter for the Covenant of Mayors. Together, let's join forces and take a step forward towards the Green Deal, a climate-neutral Europe, resilient and fairer, where cities are healthy places for citizens to live and for local businesses to thrive. Let's make the Covenant a place where all EU cities can challenge themselves and display their excellence. President von der Leyen and myself are pleased to invite you to sign up to this new Covenant of Mayors, whether you are a long-standing member of our family or a newcomer. We need everyone on board.
Jā, paldies, Pedro, par noslēgumu vārdiem. Arī es no savas puses vēlreiz aicinu pārdomāt Eiropas mēru paktu jēgu un būtību un aicinu pārdomāt dalību šajā paktā. Un ļoti ceru, ka oktobrī to pašvaldību skaits, kas būs pievienojušās mēru paktam, būs krietni kuplāks. Paldies visiem mūsu lektoriem par interesantajām prezentācijām un dalīšanos savā pieredzē. Paldies visiem dalībniekiem, klausītājiem. Paldies manai kolēģu komandai, kuri nodrošināja šī webināra tehnisko pusi. Un, protams, paldies Agitai Kaupužai, šī webināra idejas iniciatorei un galvenajai organizatorei. Uz tikšanos citā reizē un pievienoties arī mūsu nākamajam webināram, kura saite jau jūs tātad čatā redzat. Lielas paldies, visu labu!